Hey everyone.
Hey.
You looked a bit nervous there.
Well, absence. But I'm back now.
For those of you who didn't see my first review, it was actually our first review. This is Bobby. I'm Calum.
Hello.
For those of you who haven't seen anything.
I've been away writing legal essays, but I'm back now, and not only am I back, but I'm satisfied and safe in the knowledge of what I'm going to write my dissertation on.
Alright, what are you going to write on?
25 pages on the law of Orton.
Orton's Law, wow. That's a complicated subject.
My dissertation supervisor is going to love it.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're here to talk about Smackdown.
The 500th edition. Did you know that Smackdown is the fastest weekly episodic show to reach the milestone of 500 episodes?
What?
Yeah. Now that's interesting to me, because surely if it's weekly and episodic, that means there's an episode every week, which would mean every show would reach 500 at the exact same time.
That's the kind of thing that hurts my brain.
Yeah.
But, as we'll find out, it's certainly not the only thing about this SmackDown that hurts my brain.
See, he's good at the links, that's why I never had. Anyway.
What can I say?
We open up with Triple H, and
my heart sank when that music hit.
Yeah, oh god, it took him about 15 minutes to get to the ring as well.
As usual.
Yeah, and he did his promo. Same promo.
But what I didn't understand about this promo was he said that the fact that him and Stephanie McMahon are husband and wife was the worst kept secret in pro wrestling. The last time I checked, that hasn't ever been a secret. Ever.
The other thing I liked what you said, in real life.
Yeah.
I thought the whole point was that wrestling's not supposed to be fake. You can't say things like in real life.
It was just
outside this fantasy world we have created.
I didn't understand the promo, and he didn't make any extra points to the promo he did on Raw a couple of weeks ago, where he was in Randy Orton's face and said, "I'm going to break your neck" and all that. Don't RKO my wife.
No, he just delivered that same promo with less passion.
It was,
and then he also said, "I stood by when you did it to Vince." Because he's a grown man. He's like 70.
I know, he's really old.
He's a really, really grown man. He doesn't need punted in the head.
I just thinking, you're the worst son-in-law ever. But we had this terrible promo, and then Kozlov's music hits, and you're just like, wow, this is really befitting quality for the 500th edition of SmackDown. Pretty much nothing that you wouldn't expect from a match involving Triple H and Kozlov.
Not much to talk about here, is there?
No.
I think these two guys possibly have the two most generic offenses of any wrestlers in the WWE. It's just like, they do nothing remotely unusual or unique.
No, I still maintain, I think Kozlov, if he was farmed a little better, has the potential to be alright, but the match was pretty sloppy, pretty much down to Kozlov. I'll give Triple H that, but Kozlov is always quite sloppy. The only thing I would say in the positive for the match was the pedigree at the end was really quite good.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it was pretty much a nothing match.
Which is odd, because Kozlov can't seem to sell any move.
I know.
He sold that really rather well. He was totally flat on it.
But it pretty much confirmed my suspicions that Kozlov is now just a super heavyweight jobber. He's just a big jobber, and I don't see him winning much of anything from now on. I don't think that's going to happen. But anyway, that was that, and that was not very exciting. So we're going to move on.
Yeah, to the US title match between Shelton Benjamin and MVP.
It's a long time coming. I'm still not sure where Chavo Guerrero's previous involvement involved.
I think they just forgot about him.
Like they forgot about how Vicky Guerrero used to have to use a wheelchair. They just tend to forget about things.
They like to forget details. It's easier than explaining things.
Yeah, it's much easier. I suppose if I was a scriptwriter, I might sympathise with that, but I'd hope that I wouldn't. But anyway, we had this match, and it was quite good. It was
okay.
It was probably the best match of the evening, but it wasn't.
I preferred Kendrick Hardy myself.
I suppose. Well, I would say it's debatable.
Yeah, it's debatable.
It certainly wasn't as good as a match between Shelton Benjamin and MVP could be.
Absolutely. Shelton was treated a bit like a bitch. He got a bit beaten on and beaten on and beaten on. I'm just like, he's had such a long reign. Surely he deserves a creditable performance at the end, and I didn't think he really got to display it here.
There was some nice offense. He had T-bone and a few things like that, but MVP got the victory, and which I thought was going to happen, but for me that removes a lot of suspense from Money in the Bank, because in my personal opinion, I don't think Shelton Benjamin is a credible winner for Money in the Bank. I'd love him to win, but I don't think the people back in WWE believe in him enough, whereas MVP is quite over these days, so I thought maybe he was a potential contender, but
it seems him winning the title so close to WrestleMania removes any doubt. It's not like he's held the title for a long time and then can go in with the title and it not really mean anything. He's won it now.
So I think anything that removes suspense for WrestleMania is kind of unpleasant.
Anyway, he won it with the Playmaker, which isn't even his finisher anymore.
That really made me annoyed because I never bought the Playmaker. I think it's one of those moves. It's like a Triple H face buster or a Jeff Hardy front suplex thing. It's not a finisher. It's like a middle of the match move. It's like the side effect by Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
It's not a finisher, but there it is. Even though I like the drive-by kick very much, they chose to use the Playmaker and MVP's the new champion, and he'll probably be the champion for quite a long time, but that's that.
Yeah. Kane versus Shawn Michaels next. I was hoping for something more. I was hoping for I'll tell you my scenario. I was hoping Shawn Michaels would be in control, then you'd get the arena would go black and there'd just be like a single bong, and then Kane would win with a chokeslam. I thought that'd be quite a nice finish.
I thought what was going to happen, what I was hoping was going to happen was now that I think about it, certainly, I wanted that to happen because that makes Kane, even though he won with an assist, it would make him look strong for Money in the Bank, and I was hoping that later on in the evening, Shawn Michaels would fuck up the match for The Undertaker and put over JBL and make him the Intercontinental Champion.
This was a slightly odd thing, wasn't it, about the SmackDown, that Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy feud didn't get played out because Matt didn't interfere in that match.
No.
Shawn Michaels didn't interfere in the Undertaker's match.
And
Undertaker
vice versa.
didn't interfere in Shawn Michaels' match. I mean, there was no...
No, so it just made Shawn Michaels and the Undertaker look really strong, and Kane and JBL look really weak, which is not useful. I mean, I figure if they're going to have people to make look really weak, they might as well pick people that aren't involved in WrestleMania, like they picked Brian Kendrick against Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
But Kane. It was an okay match. There was a little more offense from Kane than I was expecting. Those uppercuts are still immense.
I always thought Shawn Michaels would do the wounded puppy thing, which he does so well. But Shawn Michaels went to Sweet Chin Music, by the way, if anyone's wondering.
Yeah.
Does anyone come on here for the results? I'm not sure.
I doubt it. Shawn Michaels won with the Sweet Chin Music. It was all quite predictable, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't unpleasant to watch.
But then we had the announcement that it was going to be Extreme Rules, Matt versus Jeff Hardy, which is reasonably good news. I had just been saying before that I didn't want to see a regular match between the two.
Oh, no. But I mean, Extreme Rules is probably a good thing in terms of Jeff Hardy, but Matt Hardy, it doesn't really add anything because Matt Hardy can't do anything. Hit him with
a chair, to be honest. Jeff showed a lot of good energy in this match. You know, he was attacking Ezekiel Jackson, and the fact that Ezekiel Jackson is the threat rather than Kendrick is just annoying.
It's really frustrating, but I'm not a fan of Ezekiel Jackson at all, but I was happy to see Jeff Hardy beat him 6 times with a chair. That was quite fun.
Jeff hit Poetry in Motion, and then they went through a little phase where the match just seemed to die, nothing happened, and they didn't really know what they were doing.
Which was a shame, because there's been some nice offense by both parties, which is unsurprising of Jeff Hardy and Brian Kendrick.
Yeah.
But it kind of went through a nothing phase, and then there was a bit that I quite liked where the chair was in a seating position and Jeff beat Brian Kendrick's head off it repeatedly, which I thought was quite good, but ended quite predictably. Swanton.
Jeff Hardy win.
I wish Jeff Hardy was still wearing that fucking makeup. He looks ridiculous.
And Matt didn't interfere, as we said earlier.
No Matt Hardy, which on one hand I don't like Matt Hardy, so that's good, but on the other hand, I reckon next week there will probably be some kind of similar match with Matt Hardy, and it'll make Matt Hardy look much stronger than he is.
Yeah. You suggested he was going to squash our truth, which is probably true. Anyway, we're going to run out of time in this, so switch over to part 2, and we'll see you momentarily. That's just a long shot.